Hello and welcome to part 2 of this look at the old Great Eastern Railway line from Wroxham to County School in Norfolk. In this part I'll be travelling from Coltishall to Aylsham. So now as we leave Coltishall, this line of this path is actually on the site of the old loop siding. And further along there, we're still on this sweeping curve. And look, that was looking towards Aylsham, that's looking back towards Coltishall. Just this long curve. And as we move round this curve, we come across bridge number 1299, which is an overbridge, steel and blue brick abutments, also some red brick in there as well. This carries 7 Acre Lane over the railway. Let's move on a bit further then. Along a bit further, and here I just showed the cutting there, and then from the cutting immediately onto this quite high embankment. And the next structure is this underbridge number 1300. This is carrying the railway over Frog Lane, and this is underneath the segmental masonry on the skew. Fine bit of brickwork there as usual, and as I say, then quite a high embankment here, and we shall see more embankments actually. There's what remains of the number. The line now is generally falling from Coltishall, but it will start to rise again before Buxton. And here's a new sculpture, a metal sculpture here, like a bird's head on top, representing 5 miles, which will be from Aylsham, and also an aeroplane. And the reason for that is this, which is RAF Coltishall. It's actually nearer Buxton, but in order to avoid confusion with Buxton in Derbyshire, it was called RAF Coltishall. No longer in use, I believe. In fact, I did hear it was a solar farm now. And in this view, I'm just really showing these old concrete gate posts that are still standing, very similar to the design used on the Middle and Great Northern lines. And this is just to show this quite large embankment that the railway passes through. And in the distance, our next bridge. And this is number 1301. This carries Great Boys Road over the railway. Steel girders on brick abutments. And if we get closer, there's also on the side there still the remaining telegraph wire supports and insulators, which I don't often see the insulators. And underneath on the soffit, I believe they're called jack arches, supporting the roadway above. Very good. And this is another sculpture. I don't think this represents a mileage. It just says Bure Valley Walk, but it's new. And at this point, the path alongside the narrow gauge railway crosses over from one side to the other, as you can see this fine fellow doing now. And here we have another new sculpture, again metal, bird's head, and this represents 4 miles from Aylsham along this Bure Valley path. And now, I don't think you can see it very well, but the River Bure is getting closer to the railway on the left, and shortly we should be crossing over it. And indeed this is the bridge that does cross over the River Bure. This is 1302, there's the river, and a very ingenious way of getting the walkway to cross over the bridge. And this is underneath, showing all this fine metal work and brick abutments and steel girders on this quite decorative cylindrical metal piers on the supports in the middle. It's just in this view, as we go further along, I just wanted to show this embankment and curve. You can clearly see the sides of the embankment here, and over our next bridge, which we'll have a look at. And this is it. This is number 1303, an underbridge, carries the railway over Mill Street. And again, the walkway along the side there it is underneath, steel on brick. And as it starts to rain, I'm just approaching Buxton Station. So, Buxton Le Mas Station, 5.5 miles from Wroxham, named after 2 nearby settlements. There was a single platform. Station building is similar to Coltishall, as we shall see as I get closer. And here is a view I'll just put up of the other side, which I couldn't get to. As I said, there's a single platform. There was a loop siding. There was a signal box opposite the platform. There are also cattle pens, siding and head shunt on the station building side of the railway. The loop siding was lifted in 1961 and 62. The signal box was abolished in 1962, and goods facilities were completely withdrawn in 1965. And this is just looking back in the opposite direction at the station buildings and where the platform. Now, as we leave Buxton behind us, the gradients now project a bit of a sawtooth profile for a couple of miles, and then we start climbing up to Aylsham, and that's the direction we're going in now. And here we have another sculpture marking another mile from Aylsham. This time we're 3 miles from Aylsham, and so we've got 3 miles to go. And our first bridge here is number 1304. This is a skew bridge over Oxmead Lane, and we are actually on an embankment, and we'll see, as you can see here, as I go down the steps, and that's the embankment that we're on. Fine bridge, still standing. Seen many of these in the past over the roads, etc. And the next item of interest is this underbridge, number 1305, and this crosses Aylsham South Lane. It's a very fine brick, skew brick bridge, as you can see there. Wonderful bit of brickwork. Again, we've seen many of these in the past on all the different railways that I've walked. And after that comes the Bure Valley Railway Station of Brampton. There was never a station here in standard gauge times, just an exposed piece of embankment. And now I'm pressing on towards Aylsham, but before I get too much further, we'll just watch this train go past. Now as we move along towards Aylsham, we come to this single arch brick built bridge which carries back lane over the railway. This is bridge number 1306, slightly on the skew, and in the distance there you can make out the line actually dropping down and rising again in the distance as it rises towards Aylsham. And now we come to yet another sculpture marking our 2 mile distance from Aylsham. Again, very nice, just a nice feature to have along this line. And then a little bit further we have this 3 arch masonry bridge, 1308. This carries track to an equestrian centre over on the right. And you can again see the line going down and rising in the distance towards Aylsham. And here we're approaching our next underbridge. This is number 1309, and this is over the Mermaid, which is a watercourse that flows roughly from the west into the River Bure at Brampton. And there it is, we're looking west there. A brick arched bridge there, fine brickwork as usual, and the watercourse running quite straight in that particular spot. And now we are approaching Spratt's Green. For that we've come across this plate layer's hut made of, I don't know if they're sleepers, but certainly a wooden one which has seen better days, but it's nice the fact that it's still here. Now let's go up onto the crossing. So this is Spratt's Green crossing. This road goes to and past Spratt's Green Farm. And there's the crossing keeper's cottage, still in use. More like a house actually. And here we have another sculpture marking the 1 mile from Aylsham. Some form of insect there, but very nice feature in metal. Very good. And now we are looking again towards Aylsham, and a tunnel in the distance there, the road going over, and our next bridge. So this is our next bridge. In fact, it's the last bridge. There are 17 bridges between Wroxham and Aylsham on this section. This is number 1310. Looks like steel girder on brick abutments, and that's looking towards our next feature. And there is the entrance to a tunnel. This is, as I say, looking towards Aylsham. This is the only railway operational tunnel in Norfolk, and it was provided for the narrow gauge railway, and it carries the busy A140 over the railway line, and this is the Aylsham side. There is also another cottage where I'm standing there because that used to be a level crossing. And now we shall continue our journey towards Aylsham, which we shall look at in the next part of this series. So for now, thanks for watching.